Hi there, my name is Sarah and I am one of the instructors at Spark Motion, and today I'm going to share a little snippet about breathing, and you might see my dog Oscar helping us out too. Today a lot of what I'll be sharing is what I've been learning from a physical therapist named Sarah Duvall, and specifically in her pregnancy and postpartum workshop she talks a lot about breath. And a little backstory even about myself, I got into Pilates well over 10 years, 15 years ago possibly, and all I wanted to do was the fitness part and the moving part and the muscles and all of that. And whenever somebody would say, first you have to focus on the breath, I would kind of poo-poo that and say, okay, let's just get to moving, breathing. Why is that so important to focus on? And it wasn't until later in life and that I realized just how important the breath truly is, and what even a dysfunctional breath pattern can do, causing dysfunction or pain in the pelvic floor, or your upper neck, or your SI joint, or back pain. All of that simply because of can potentially be because of dysfunctional breathing. And you take 21,000, the average person takes about 21,000 breaths per day, which is incredible, and so, but if that is in a dysfunctional way, or just not a fully the opportunity of breath isn't really getting the full opportunity of it, I should say. So today, we could talk about breath, and everybody has different patterns. I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all, but we're going to talk a little bit just about the post-diaphragmatic breath. And your diaphragm sits in your rib cage. And a lot of times people talk about, expanding. As you inhale, the diaphragm expands down, and as you exhale, it comes up. And, we talk about that expansion a lot in the front or as a belly breath. And today, what I really want to focus on is a little bit more of the posterior portion of that, which is very, very important in pregnant women as well, because that diaphragm kind of gets pushed forward and the ribs tend to flare. And so, first, why is breathing so important? It's the foundation of our system. Second, it really regulates intra-abdominal pressure. So, if you think about your torso here as a canister, and this is what Sarah talks a lot about in her work, as a canister. And if that canister isn't regulating the pressure correctly, then, it's going to go up into, pec minor, into the secondary breathing muscles of pec minor and SCM and scalenes. And so you may feel neck tension if, you're not getting the proper breath happening down here, or the pressure can go even further in pelvic floor tightness, and it can be not equal. It can be anterior pelvic floor tightness or posterior pelvic floor tightness. A lot of times posterior pelvic floor tightness can happen whenever you're not getting that full posterior diaphragmatic breath. And so, you think about a soda can, and, whenever you put like a Coca-Cola can in the freezer, and it gets really, that pressure gets really crazy, what happens to the soda can? And that it explodes. And so, even for pregnancy, that's a lot with the rectus diastasis, or, pelvic floor prolapse. And it's always not pregnancy, but it's just more apparent a little bit in the pregnancy examples. And so, another third way why breath is so important is it changes our stress hormones and activates a parasympathetic nervous system response. So by massaging even the psoas, the diaphragm can relax that, and it also kind of works with the vagus nerve, calming the nervous system, which is so important. We talk about, I'm stressed, but it really has that big chemical component to it as well with breathing. And then the fourth part is so important. It promotes healing and tissue repair by increasing oxygen. which is absolutely incredible on that chemical level as well. So before the video gets too super long, I'm going to show you just a couple little exercises, and it's not about the intensity of the breath. It's about the intentionality of the breath. One of my directors at the dance company, he uses that quote a lot. It's about the intentionality, not the intensity. So the intentionality is we're trying to really open up the back of the area there, or even just get a little bit of more mindfulness of the breath happening back there. When I first started, I was so flared in my ribs, and all my Pilates friends, and all the cues were getting close your ribs. So I was closing them, and I was using my external obliques more than my internal obliques even. And I was really crunching down here, but I wasn't opening up or massaging anything in the back with the breath. And so you get into a little bit of a dysfunctional breath pattern instead of getting to the root of the problem. Again, so many words. But all of that to say is the first exercise we're going to do is just lying on your back. And you're simply going to place your hands right along the sides of your ribs here. And all I want you to do is try with a belly breath going up, really inhaling and exhaling. And try that a couple times, just feeling the breath going up and out. And then I want you to focus the next couple breaths trying to get into the more lateral and back part. So you're going to inhale and exhale. And on your timing, trying to send that breath into the lateral and posterior parts of the diaphragm there. The other exercise to do, and again, I want you to focus on your timing. I'm not going to count how many inhale counts or exhale counts, just the intentionality of that. And at first you might not be able to connect to it. The next one, again, trying in different planes is another way you can try and connect a little bit to that area back there. The other one is just, you can sit in a little bit of a figure 4 position here. You can also do this sitting on a stool even. So if we were to bring in a stool, I'll do this one first maybe. So you can sit with your feet in front of you, but I want you to kind of go for a little bit of a diagonal spiral, a spiral curl here. And I want you to really focus on opening up the breath in the back of here. And you can inhale. And then a nice exhale. It's so lovely. You just feel the opening of that area, and it softens even some QL things back there. So you can do that exercise. Or again, this is the one sitting in the figure 4, which is nice because it opens up a little bit of the pelvic floor, and then you can breathe here. And try with an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. And we're not working an active exhale. An active exhale will engage the abdominals. Right now we're using a passive inhalation, so we simply just want to work on the natural state of that diaphragm. And this side for me is a little tighter, so it doesn't want to move as much in the beginning, but allowing the breath process to happen. And of course, you would stay there a little longer. The last one I'll show is a side lying one. And I'm going to use 2 blocks. You can use 2 blocks, you can use 2 pillows. It's up to you. But you'll have a block or a pillow for your head. And then, excuse me, you'll have a block or a pillow for in between your knees. And you can have a little bit of a roundedness to the back of your spine, a posterior curl. You don't want to tuck, but what the block is, it's helping activate a little bit of your adductors, your inner thighs, and your lower abdominals. So you might add a little bit more of that active exhalation to feel a little bit more of that support happening. But again, you're focusing on that portion of your lower ribs, and you want to even think of it going down into your lower back QL, your quadratus lumborum, down into your glutes even. And you're going to other hand places right behind your head if you're able to. If not, that's okay. And you're going to inhale in and exhale. And if you find that you naturally can open and rotate, that's also great too. It's not about this twist though. It's really lovely. And again, you would stay there a little bit longer, but where your hand is at, you're trying to send the breath down there, and you'll even feel a little bit maybe of some, digestive sounds, that kind of thing, because you're activating the rest and digest portion of your nervous system. You're kind of massaging everything in there. It helps to go against the bracing of the core, because you want, that natural support to happen. And again, it begins with the breath. So this could be a nice and long weekend workshop. It's a lifetime exploration, but I hope this is just a little bit of sharing some of that opening into the back and what relief it can do, what kind of changes it can do. Again, I got a lot of this beautiful information from a physical therapist named Sarah Duval. She has beautiful free stuff on Instagram as well. And we would love for you to come see us at Spark Motion, so that we can again help you, because not everybody's patterns are the same thing, and there's always more to unlock, whether it is with that breath or whether it is through particular movement patterns. So thank you so much for sharing this time with us, and I'll give you a little snippet of Oscar too. Oscar says, thanks for sharing the time. All right, bye Sparkers. Hope to see you in the studio soon. Bye.